I would like to see it. What mysteries are there in this sect? Men are looked down upon because of their low cultivation level. But unexpectedly, he elevated his cultivation level to the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle in an instant. Just now, Wang Maple extended an invitation to Li Black, who has reincarnated into the Mystic Emperor stage. However, Li Black did not accept the invitation. Instead, he wants to see what secrets the Immortal Being Sect holds. And Wang Maple is not in a hurry either. I know you possess a legendary artifact, but it is not qualified to enter my scrutiny yet. My only purpose for you is to join my Immortal Being Sect. Li Black narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice, "What if you don't join?" Wang Maple didn't waste any words either. He directly gestured towards the two elders, Yegu Citadel and Simon Snowfall, who were present at the residence. Li Black immediately showed interest and said, "Are you trying to use the strength in numbers to press me into joining?" And Wang Maple shook his head. "I just want you to see the heritage of the Immortal Being Sect." But Li Black remains calm. "I rely on that legendary artifact as my trump card. Even if 3 Mystic Emperor stage experts join forces, I can still leave unscathed." A figure clad in black clothes and wielding a heavy sword suddenly strode in from outside the hall. What if 4 Mystic Emperor stage powerhouses join forces? The newcomer exudes a deep-seated indifference and weariness that seems to have penetrated their very marrow. Yet, there is also an intimidating killing intent. It is none other than Sword Demon Yen 13. Then a hoarse and icy voice emanated from the mouth of Yen 13. "Greetings, sect leader." Yen 13 is the powerful expert summoned by Wang Maple using random summoning not long ago. His cultivation level has reached the pinnacle of the Mystic Emperor stage. Yen 13 is the top sword master who went crazy for the sword path in the previous novel. His lifelong wish is to have a showdown with Sword Emperor Xia Stormpeak. Yen 13's most outstanding skill throughout his life is the Reaper's 13 blades. Not only did he create a 14th variation afterwards, he created the 15th sword representing destruction and death when he was looking for Xia Stormpeak to have a decisive battle. He could have killed Xia Stormpeak with the 15th sword, but he discovered that this sword only brought destruction and death. In order to completely destroy this dreadful sword, he chose to cut his own throat. Li Black looked at Yen 13 and was also secretly shocked. Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle powerhouse. Li Black immediately sighed. As a sect leader, you only have the cultivation level of Mystic Emperor stage. Do you really deserve to be a sect leader? As soon as the words fell, a sharp blade aura suddenly shot out. Yen 13 dropped his long sword in front of Li Black's head. He immediately said coldly, "It seems that Reaper's 15th blades need to be revived." Wang Maple patted Yen 13 on the shoulder. "Elder Yen, please calm down a bit. It's just the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle cultivation level. As long as I want to have it, I can have it at any time." He then summoned the system panel and looked at the sect point, which was a full 40,000. He immediately chuckled to himself. He didn't expect to have such a large sum of 40,000 sect points so quickly. This time he can splurge properly. System. Use 10,000 sect points to exchange for 10 lottery chances. I want to start the lottery directly. Wang Maple's mind was suddenly filled with the cold voice of the system. In addition to drawing Yen 13's Reaper's 15th blades, the rest are either Yen 13's cultivation level or other people's cultivation level. Wang Maple just borrowed 1/10 of Yen 13's cultivation level and added it to his own body this time. In just a blink of an eye, after absorbing the energy infusion, Wang Maple's cultivation level instantly soared to the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle. Was he always hiding his true cultivation level before? Or is it true that he can really ascend to the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle in an instant? This useless sect leader just casually pointed his finger. He actually elevated the cultivation level of Yegu Citadel to the Mystic Emperor stage. Just now, Li Black, who originally looked down on Wang Maple, I didn't expect that Wang Maple actually raised his cultivation level to the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle right in front of him in an instant. What else do you have to say now? But Li Black remained stubborn. Even though the Immortal Being Sect has 4 experts at the Mystic Emperor stage. At most, I will fight you to the death. But Wang Maple suddenly waved his hand. No! You forgot about 1 expert at the Mystic Emperor stage. That would be the Elder Yegu beside me. Li Black immediately exploded at the words. He is now only at the Royal Lord stage cultivation level. While Wang Maple simply waved his hand and grinned. He won't be for long. Today let me show you my Immortal Being Sect's remote empowerment technique. Li Black, however, thinks that Wang Maple is joking. Even if I possessed the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle cultivation level in my past life, I couldn't achieve the remote empowerment technique you mentioned. Wang Maple naturally wouldn't miss the opportunity to show off. He immediately pretended to be profound, saying that just because you can't achieve the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle doesn't mean that I, as the holder of the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle, can't. He then murmured to himself, System. Bestow the other cultivation levels onto Yegu Citadel. Yegu Citadel suddenly felt a surge throughout his body. The raging mystic chi poured crazily from his forehead. He quickly activated the cultivation method within his body to start absorbing it. Just a moment. Yegu Citadel's cultivation level has also been raised to the earlier Mystic Emperor stage. Yegu Citadel immediately bowed to express gratitude. Simon Snowfall, standing aside, couldn't help but smile faintly. Thanks to the sect leader's grace, I have another evenly matched opponent. Li Black was completely dumbfounded this time. This guy. He actually helped Elder Yegu ascend to the Mystic Emperor stage. At this moment, the experts at the Mystic Emperor stage in the hall are Yegu Citadel and Simon Snowfall. And Yin 13, as well as Lunar Mirage. Li Black has just been suppressed. Wang Maple then spoke again. The 4 elders, along with me, the Immortal Being Sect, have a total of 5 Mystic Emperor stage powerhouses. Even if you want to fight to the bitter end now, you won't be able to do it. How about it? Joining my Immortal Being Sect can help you recover, and even surpass your previous pinnacle. Upon hearing this, Li Black no longer hesitated. I will only join your Immortal Being Sect for 10 years. After 10 years, I will leave. And you must not disclose the information about the legendary artifact on me. Immediately, Wang Maple laughed and agreed. He even asked Li Black to take out his money pouch. Li Black had no choice either. He could only sigh, and then threw the money pouch over. The system immediately sounded an alert tone. Congratulations to the host for recruiting a peerless genius. You have been rewarded with 30,000 sect points, and 1 chance for a random summon. Wang Maple couldn't help but secretly rejoice. It's not in vain that I risked facing a strong expert at the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle with my reincarnated body. This is probably the most generous reward I have received so far. At the same time, inside Starshine Mountains, a young man dressed as a scholar is strolling within, and a huge brown bear has already attacked him from behind. Floating Cloud glanced back and immediately smiled. I'm so hungry. It seems like food is walking right into my trap. Just as he drew his sword, ready to strike, suddenly, a rain of arrows fell from the sky above. The rain of arrows was actually shot by the army led by Marquis Xianlan. While Floating Cloud effortlessly lifted the body of the black bear, he himself was unscathed. Wang Maple's thatched cottage was actually found by his enemy Marquis Xianlan. Just now, Marquis Xianlan, who is seeking revenge for the death of his son, arrived at the Starshine Mountains range. And he also happened to encounter Floating Cloud, who was strolling around in the mountains. The Kirin divine beast under Marquis Xianlan's command. It breathes out a burst of flames at the mere opening of its mouth. But Floating Cloud casually cut off the bear's paw with a sword. Then he caught the fire and roasted the bear's paw until it was tender inside and crispy outside. He even ate it in a provocative manner in front of Marquis Xianlan. Seeing this scene, Marquis Xianlan could no longer restrain himself. "This will be the last meal I grant you before your execution." After those words fell, he leaped down directly. With a raised hand, he threw a heavy punch. Floating Cloud did not dare to underestimate his opponent, and countered with a heavenly rainbow slash. However, Marquis Xianlan's strength was obviously superior. After Floating Cloud was knocked back, he quickly got up. He immediately threw away the broken sword in his hand. Fortunately, he hadn't vomited the bear paw he had just eaten. Otherwise, it would have been a real loss. Marquis Xianlan then turned around directly to inquire about Elder Yun. He is young but already has the cultivation level of the Royal Lord stage, and he has appeared in the Starshine Mountains. He is Wang Maple from the Immortal Being Sect. Elder Yun immediately waved his hand upon hearing this. "Even if Wang Maple turns into ashes, I would still recognize him. But it's not him." Floating Cloud was so angry that he trembled on the spot. "You almost punched me to death just now. Was it just because you mistook me for someone else?" The words had just fallen. The Kirin immediately pressed Floating Cloud to the ground with one hoof. He couldn't help but say angrily, "I am not Wang Maple. Why won't you let me go?" But Marquis Xianlan's face turned serious. "Although you are not the one who killed my son, Wang Maple, it cannot be ruled out that you are one of his disciples." When this was said, Floating Cloud suddenly felt a chill in his heart. Someone in the Solar Radiance Empire actually dared to kill the son of Marquis Xianlan. Marquis Xianlan gestured for Kirin to gather strength again. Then he spoke up and inquired. He saw Floating Cloud remain silent. He looked like he had no intention to answer. Marquis Xianlan then spoke again. "This area is right next to the three major empires. You refuse to disclose your teacher. Are you not from the Solar Radiance Empire?" Unable to hide any longer, Floating Cloud quickly struggled to sit up. "I am a cultivator from the Divine Wind Empire, who happened to come here for training." Marquis Xianlan's eyes narrowed instantly. "Are you daring to come to the Solar Radiance Empire for training? Aren't you afraid of being killed by the strong experts of Solar Radiance?" Floating Cloud burst into laughter. "Even if there are risks, if I fear them, how can I undergo training?" Just then, a soldier suddenly interrupted. "The Immortal Being Sect's headquarters is located 50 miles ahead." Marquis Xianlan immediately issued a decisive order to have him tied up. Bring him back to the Imperial City after wiping out the Immortal Being Sect. Then he led the army without looking back, rushing towards the Immortal Being Sect's stronghold at top speed. Soon, everyone arrived at the Immortal Being Sect's stronghold. Floating Cloud, who was tied up tightly, was directly thrown down. He couldn't help but think to himself. Originally thought that daring to provoke Marquis Xianlan's Immortal Being Sect was some kind of secretive major sect. Maybe it can help me break free from the sea of suffering. The result is just such a dilapidated thatched hut. Marquis Xianlan did not hesitate at all. He directly gestured to his men to attack. Countless golden long spears suddenly shot out. However, at this moment, the mystic demon overlord suddenly appeared above the thatched cottage, pulling out a long stick filled with majestic demonic chi from the void. The stick then burst forth with surging demonic chi. A shield formed by condensed demonic chi. It instantly blocked all the incoming long spear. The group of soldiers instantly lost their calm. "What is that? It looks like a cockroach, but it's so powerful." As soon as these words were spoken, the mystic demon overlord immediately exploded, not only attacking our sect. Before his words had even finished, the mystic demon overlord immediately swung fiercely in his hand. The long spear that rebounded away immediately killed a group of soldiers. The mystic demon overlord then lifted the surging giant stick of demonic chi, satisfied. He chuckled contentedly. Oh, the mystic demon overlord is in trouble now. He is facing Marquis Xianlan's Kirin Dharma body. How should the demon overlord respond? Just now, Marquis Xianlan led a large army to attack the Immortal Being Sect. And the mystic demon overlord stood there, holding a black iron staff densely covered with runes. He faced the enemy alone, his aura suddenly becoming extremely fierce, like a ruthless and peerless beast. With a sweep of his staff, all the soldiers in his path were shattered into pieces. Then the long staff of the mystic demon overlord was pointed at Marquis Xianlan as he shouted, "Who are you people?" When he saw the long staff before him, Marquis Xianlan's face suddenly changed drastically. He let out a horrified roar. "Mystic demon overlord, you are the mystic demon overlord sealed by his majesty." Mu floating cloud below was instantly shocked at the words. Is this person the mystic demon overlord who ravaged the Solar Radiance Empire 1,000 years ago? Marquis Xianlan immediately lost his composure. How were you able to escape from the divine fallen ancient land? The mystic demon overlord burst into laughter upon hearing this. How could a mere divine fallen ancient land possibly trap the likes of me? Mu floating cloud couldn't help but secretly speculate. Can this demon escape? Could it be the doing of that immortal being sect's Wang Maple? I didn't expect that a simple thatched cottage would hide such a peerless master. And Marquis Xianlan, when he came to his senses, immediately said solemnly, "Immortal being sect's Wang Maple killed my son. As long as you don't interfere with my revenge, I will act today as if I have never seen you before." And the mystic demon overlord immediately waved the magic staff in his hand and laughed, saying, "Sure. But first, you have to ask my magic staff if it agrees or not." Just as he finished speaking, Marquis Xianlan immediately swooped down and shouted loudly, "The book is already prepared today to fend off evil and eliminate demons." The next moment, the mystic demon overlord immediately swept out with a long stick. "Want to kill this demon? Are you just relying on your mouth?" Immediately after, the mystic demon was firmly bitten by the Kirin under Marquis Xianlan's seat. Then, a surging flame erupted madly from the Kirin's mouth. The magic spread from the magic wand to the mystic demon overlord's hands. However, the magic wand began to rapidly expand at that moment. Kirin's mouth was totally unable to continue biting down. It had no choice but to release it. Then Marquis Xianlan suddenly leaped up. The giant fist formed by surging mystic chi immediately slammed down. The mystic demon overlord, however, remained completely unfazed. He directly kicked the magic staff out. Marquis Xianlan reacted quickly. He crossed his hands directly to block it. But the flames attached to the magic staff quickly spread to Marquis Xianlan's body. After being attached by the flames, Marquis Xianlan sneered, "Thank you for helping me with the Kirin flame." As soon as the words fell, the golden flame-covered giant fist was instantly blasted away by Marquis Xianlan. Mythic Demon saw that the opponent's fist technique was getting stronger. Mystic Demon Overlord swept out the magic staff without hesitation. The demonic chi contained in this staff is extremely powerful. It directly shattered Marquis Xianlan's golden giant fist. Then the Mystic Demon Overlord burst into laughter. "It seems that the answer lies in my Mystic Demon staff." Marquis Xianlan, are you out of your mind by the Mystic Demon Overlord staff? It's about time to wake up. He's laughing. And Marquis Xianlan shrugged. I'm laughing because even though you escaped from the divine fallen ancient land, your cultivation level has dropped from the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle to the Royal Lord stage peak. But the Mystic Demon Overlord did not think so. Even with the cultivation level of the middle Royal Lord stage, this demon is enough to crush you, who are at the main Marquis stage pinnacle. However, just at this moment, the Kirin Divine Beast suddenly began to gather power for its flames once again. Then it sprayed all that surging flame onto Marquis Xianlan's body. As the flames dissipated, golden scales appeared on Marquis Xianlan's body. He then proudly spoke again. That's right. While my mortal body indeed only has the cultivation level of middle Royal Lord stage, my Kirin Dharma body is much more than that. They have made a move. They have made a move. Yegu Citadel has finally made a move again. Just now, Marquis Xianlan deployed the secret technique Kirin Dharma body, and his strength surged His cultivation level has actually reached the earlier Mystic Emperor stage. Marquis Xianlan immediately took a step forward. He swiftly flew towards the Mystic Demon Overlord. Before the Mystic Demon Overlord could react, Marquis Xianlan had already leaped to his side. As Marquis Xianlan's hooves landed, the ground suddenly erupted with a deafening roar. The originally extremely arrogant Mystic Demon Overlord. He was already firmly suppressed on the ground by Marquis Xianlan. The pressure on the Mystic Demon Overlord immediately surged. Not only did his body and strength increase several times over, but even his speed leaped several levels. However, the Mystic Demon Overlord is not someone to be trifled with. He used the power of his magic staff to push back Marquis Xianlan. Then, he took the opportunity to sweep his staff sideways. But this strike did not harm Marquis Xianlan at all. The Mystic Demon Overlord knows that he cannot win in a head-on confrontation. He can only create distance and look for vulnerabilities. But Marquis Xianlan's speed is just too fast. He caught up in an instant. The difference in cultivation level. The Mystic Demon Overlord had no chance to fight back at all. Marquis Xianlan easily punched the Mystic Demon Overlord away with a casual punch. Then, there was a continuous sound of bang bang banging. Mystic Demon Overlord immediately turned into a punching bag. Marquis Xianlan's speed gave Mystic Demon Overlord no chance to fight back. In that moment, he couldn't help but think to himself. It was not easy for this demon to escape from the divine fallen ancient land. Am I really going to perish here now? This time, it seems like I will truly be squashed like a cockroach. Then he erupted into a blasting roar. But Marquis Xianlan unexpectedly discovered that the Mystic Demon Overlord was nowhere to be seen. The Mystic Demon Overlord, who escaped smoothly, immediately grinned. This demon is still alive. Marquis Xianlan's gaze was fixed firmly on Yegu Citadel, as he spoke coldly. It seems that your Immortal Being Sect also has experts. Yegu Citadel also sensed that Marquis Xianlan's cultivation level is extraordinary. Yegu Citadel came out to save the day. Mystic Demon Overlord also quickly moved away from Marquis Xianlan. Floating Cloud, who was hiding on the side, couldn't help but mutter to himself. The Mystic Demon Overlord is not enough. Another even stronger expert has arrived. Who exactly is the Immortal Being Sect? Why am I encountering them during my training in the Solar Radiance Empire? And at this moment, Yegu Citadel also spoke up. The sect leader is very satisfied with your performance. You may rest for now. The Mystic Demon Overlord immediately grinned upon hearing this. This person who calls himself Marquis Xianlan said he wants to take the sect leader's life. Listen to this. Yegu Citadel directly drew out the soaring rainbow sword and said coldly, "Foolish dreamer." The terrifying mystic chi then exploded abruptly from the soaring rainbow sword. Those ordinary soldiers were instantly absorbed by the terrifying mystic chi. Marquis Xianlan took a step and instantly attacked Yegu Citadel. However, Yegu Citadel skillfully gathered those soldiers to form a giant golden sword. Then he used his ultimate skill, Celestial Soaring Immortal Human Sword, and struck towards Marquis Xianlan. But this move was blocked by Marquis Xianlan with both hands. He then slashed apart the sword chi and turned around to kill behind Yegu Citadel. But Yegu Citadel moved his body and easily avoided it. Then he once again used the Celestial Soaring Immortal's sword technique. The ground near the thatched hut was instantly lifted up by his sword chi. And the Mystic Demon Overlord also discovered the presence of Floating Cloud. Since he was bound by the enemy, that makes him an ally. He immediately rescued him casually. With the sword chi from Yegu Citadel, a huge boulder crashed directly onto Marquis Xianlan. Yegu Citadel accidentally fell for the enemy's trick. Simon Snowfall, as a good friend, is really angry now. Just now, when Yegu Citadel made a move, they used the sword of the Celestial Soaring Immortal to attack Marquis Xianlan. Large rocks smashed down over a wide area, causing the entire area to tremble. Marquis Xianlan took this move head-on. Marquis Xianlan couldn't help but tremble all over. And Yegu Citadel had no intention of holding back. He raised his hand again to unleash the celestial soaring immortal technique, preparing to condense the Sky Sword. The Sky Sword, condensed from majestic heavenly thunder, swung down with Yegu's Citadel. It directly crashed into Marquis Xianlan. Suffered a heavy blow. Marquis Xianlan immediately let out a series of piercing screams. Feeling the aftermath of this sword strike, Mystic Demon Overlord immediately grinned. Long time no see. Elder Yegu has grown stronger again. Mu Floating Cloud then asked with some curiosity. How strong is the Elder Yegu you mentioned in the Immortal Being Sect? Mystic Demon Overlord immediately carries profound implications. Among the group of elders, Elder Yegu is considered to have the lowest strength. Mu Floating Cloud is no longer calm. With just 3 swords, he can seriously injure Marquis Xianlan, who was at the Mystic Emperor stage earlier, and he is still the weakest in terms of strength. Fortunately, Marquis Xianlan brought me to the Immortal Being Sect. Just at this moment, Marquis Xianlan, who was enduring the bombardment of the Sky Sword, suddenly let out a roar. The Xianlan Legion arranged themselves into the Kirin formation. As soon as the words fell, the soldiers of the Xianlan Legion began to pass on mystic chi one after another, and the Kirin Divine Beast came to the forefront. It is receiving the mystic chi of the Xianlan Legion. Feeling the surge of mystic chi within the body, Kirin immediately lets out a loud roar. And those who overdrew their mystic chi within their bodies, the Xianlan Legion, all turned into ashes. Then the Kirin suddenly opened its mouth. The surging flame spurted towards Marquis Xianlan. There was an immediate explosion with a bang. The flames were instantly absorbed by Marquis Xianlan. Marquis Xianlan, who had already entered the Kirin Dharma body. Terror-inducing flames began to swirl around his body. Then Marquis Xianlan lifted his arm. He threw a punch beneath the lightning above his head. The terrifying Sky Sword was actually shattered. Seeing this, the Mystic Demon Overlord's face suddenly changed. Marquis Xianlan, with the help of the Xianlan Legion and the Fire Kirin, he actually managed to instantly boost his cultivation level even further. In order to prevent any future troubles, the Mystic Demon Overlord feels the need to eliminate this Fire Kirin first. At the same time, Marquis Xianlan suddenly struck out with a punch. He quickly killed towards Yegu's Citadel. While Yegu's Citadel remained unflinching, he directly used the power of Soaring Rainbow to overwhelm his giant fist. Although the scabbard broke the giant fist, but the scabbard was caught by Marquis Xianlan. Yegu's Citadel then appeared behind Marquis Xianlan immediately. The Soaring Rainbow sword pierced straight through his chest. Marquis Xianlan grabbed the Soaring Rainbow sword and sneered. In the end, you fell for my trap. As soon as the words fell, terrifying flames erupted from his chest immediately. The flame surged towards Yegu's Citadel in an instant. This sudden change left Yegu's Citadel momentarily stunned. The flames leaped towards him in an instant. However, at that moment, a sharp chill suddenly emerged. Ice crystals suddenly appeared and engulfed Yegu's Citadel. At the same time, the ice crystals also blocked the terrifying flames. Not only did Lunar Mirage appear, even Simon Snowfall descended from the sky and pointed as a sword. Simon Snowfall didn't say a word and just directly chopped down towards Marquis Xianlan. Marquis Xianlan was seen to have powerful defensive strength. Marquis Xianlan immediately decisively ran away. But Simon Snowfall's speed is even faster than him. The formless sword instantly crashed down. Unable to dodge in time, Marquis Xianlan decisively shook both hands. The red scales on the body suddenly burst out. Caught off guard, Simon Snowfall was already hit by the scales. The legendary sword demon merely made a casual sword strike. Actually, he seriously injured the powerful Mystic Emperor stage expert. Just now, Simon Snowfall pointed his finger and transformed it into a sword, attacking Marquis Xianlan. But he did not expect to be injured by the scales rebounded by Marquis Xianlan. Then flames suddenly burst out from the scales. Simon Snowfall immediately whispered in his heart, "The flames engulfed me, but I remained unharmed. Not good. This fire is burning my mythic chi." Simon Snowfall's formless sword in hand is quickly dissipating. Marquis Xianlan acts immediately at this moment. He quickly stamped his foot and struck out with a palm. Just as Marquis Xianlan was about to strike Simon Snowfall, Lunar Mirage acted just in time to freeze his lower body. But Marquis Xianlan's 4 hooves suddenly exerted force underneath him. He instantly shattered the ice crystals. Then he threw a heavy punch. The heavy punch smashed into the abdomen of Lunar Mirage. At the moment when Lunar Mirage was knocked back, the red scales swiftly followed. Marquis Xianlan immediately repeated the same trick. Simon Snowfall immediately spoke up to warn, "Don't get hit by his scales. They will instantly engulf and consume your mythic chi after turning into flames." The reaction of Lunar Mirage is extremely fast. The ice crystals instantly formed a protective shield, blocking the scales on the outside. And Simon Snowfall no longer probes. He drew his long sword directly and stabbed Marquis Xianlan in the face. However, Marquis Xianlan did not dodge or evade. He lifted his arm and took the hit head-on. Marquis Xianlan snorted coldly, "Your mystic chi is depleted. You're so weak that you can't even pierce through my arm." But Simon Snowfall remained indifferent. "You will definitely not be able to dodge that sword." When these words were spoken, Marquis Xianlan immediately looked surprised. "That sword? Do you think you still have mystic chi to use for another sword?" Simon Snowfall, however, shook his head. "I wasn't referring to myself. It was Elder Yen." As soon as the words fell, Sword Demon Yen 13 suddenly made a move. In the instant the long sword swung out, a majestic mystic chi immediately shot out. The terrifying mystic chi instantly blasted onto Marquis Xianlan's lower body. Shortly after, he burst into a mournful wail. The flesh and blood of his lower body actually disappeared entirely under the power of this sword. Marquis Xianlan was completely unsettled. When did a master at the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle appear again in the Solar Radiance Empire? Why have I never heard of this before? He immediately suppressed the intense pain from below and asked, "Who are you exactly?" And Yen 13 coldly declared by slashing his long sword, "Immortal Being Sect Yen 13. At the same time, Wang Maple also appeared with Li Black and others in the thatched house, showing them the power of the elders. As the #1 big disciple, Li Black couldn't help but be secretly shocked. "I just closed my doors for a while. Have such powerful elders awakened in the sect again? Even Li Black is not calm anymore. I wonder when I can have the cultivation level of the Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle again in this life." And Ling Flydancing's murderous intent has reached its peak. Is he the Marquis Xianlan who destroyed my Ling family? Wang Maple obviously noticed Ling Flydancing's emotional changes. He immediately comforted her by saying, "Don't worry. I will let you take revenge personally later." And Mythic Demon also keenly noticed the presence of Wang Maple and others. He immediately made a secret decision. It seems that this demon must quickly eliminate this beast, to prevent the sect leader from thinking that this demon is useless. However, at this moment, Marquis Xianlan suddenly raised his hand and activated the mystic chi again. Just as Kirin was about to fall under the attack of the magic staff, he was instantly saved by the mystic chi, sparing his life. Then Kirin was pulled up by Marquis Xianlan. Then a complex expression flashed in his eyes. "Old buddy. Today, in order to avenge the son of the Marquis, I can only sacrifice you." Just as the words fell, Marquis Xianlan suddenly made his move and pierced through Kirin's body. Then, a blazing flame burst forth from Kirin's body. In an instant, the lower half of Marquis Xianlan's disappearing flesh and bones grew back. His body was covered in black gold scales. His cultivation level skyrocketed again, reaching the pinnacle of the Mystic Emperor stage, through the sacrifice of Kirin's flesh and blood. he actually planned to personally demonstrate his own strength. Just now, Marquis Xianlan forcefully advanced to stage unknown by absorbing the blood energy of Kirin. Promoted to Mystic Emperor stage pinnacle. Wang Maple couldn't help but secretly complain when he saw this. What the heck? Can still change like this? Yin 13 took the lead and made a move. He raised his hand, and another sword chi was unleashed. However, Marquis Xianlan did not dodge. He directly withstood it. With a roar sounding out, Marquis Xianlan forcibly broke the sword chi. Then he shouted loudly at Yin 13. My Kirin Dharma body is already complete. No matter how powerful your sword is, you won't be able to harm even a single scale of mine. Yin 13, however, did not agree. He raised his hand again to gather power for the next strike. As the long sword fell, the terrifying sword chi shot out once again. This is his strongest sword art, Reaper's 15th blades. The speed of this sword is so fast, making Marquis Xianlan unable to react at all. Then, there was a loud clattering sound. The scales armor covering Marquis Xianlan's body instantly fell off. Yin 13's strong performance instantly caught Mu Floating Cloud's eye. And Wang Maple suddenly heard a prompt in his mind. Congratulations, host. Discovered a supreme monster genius. Wang Maple couldn't help but be secretly shocked when he heard the news. There is only him as a new face around. Moreover, at a young age, he already possesses the cultivation level of the Royal Lord stage. It seems that this supreme monster genius is him. Following that, Wang Maple turned around and untied the ropes on him with a smile, asking, Who are you? Mu Floating Cloud quickly explained. I am Mu Floating Cloud from the Divine Wind Empire, here in Starshine Mountains for training. I never expected to be mistaken as a member of the Immortal Being Sect by Marquis Xianlan, and got tied up and brought over here. Upon hearing this, Wang Maple couldn't help but feel somewhat surprised. With your talent, you are probably one of the top individuals among the younger generation in the Divine Wind Empire. It's astonishing that the Divine Wind Grand Emperor didn't regard you as a treasure. But Mu Floating Cloud bowed with a hint of sadness and said, I was just a mere waste before. It was only by a fortuitous opportunity that I obtained the chance to cultivate and achieve my current level of cultivation. Upon hearing this, Wang Maple's eyes lit up. Isn't this the perfect protagonist template? A person like this, we must definitely recruit him to join the Immortal Being Sect with full force. Immediately, he decisively extended an invitation. Being presented with such an opportunity indicates that your destiny is extraordinary. Would you be willing to join our Immortal Being Sect? Mu Floating Cloud hesitated for a moment. If I join the Immortal Being Sect, I will encounter constant troubles. Senior, are you certain about recruiting a junior like me? Wang Maple immediately patted his chest. Here with me, no trouble is too much trouble. However, just at this moment, suddenly, the fat guy let out a cry of alarm. This trouble is big. Only to see Marquis Xianlan suddenly open his big mouth and spew out a roaring flame towards Yin 13. Caught off guard, Yin 13 was immediately hit by his attack. Wang Maple couldn't help but curse in his heart. This silly guy really is as annoying as ever. I've worked so hard to create an atmosphere for taking in disciples. He immediately spoke up. Li Qing, would you like to break through the Spirit Awakening stage in one go? As soon as he heard about such a good thing, the fat man immediately got excited and said, Sect leader, I definitely want to. Wang Maple decided to take action himself this time in order to smoothly accept a disciple. The next second, Wang Maple's figure suddenly flashed. Marquis Xianlan immediately locked onto him and shouted, You are Wang Maple, the one who killed the son of this Marquis. At this moment, Wang Maple's figure appeared ethereal, looking down on Marquis Xianlan from a high vantage point. This useless sect leader is just showing off in front of the top genius. He decisively chose to show his strength. He saw the enemy who killed his son appear. Marquis Xianlan immediately rushed towards him. Wang Maple was not flustered at all. He directly used the luminous jade art with his left hand. Then, both hands together. The sword of innate ice instantly took shape. Facing the oncoming raging flames, Wang Maple directly swung his ice sword to meet them. And this sword is precisely the Yegu Citadel's sword art celestial soaring immortal. Marquis Xianlan immediately roared in anger upon seeing the situation. Then he raised his arm covered with overlapping scales and slammed it up. The force of this punch is very strong. The ice sword shattered instantly. But Wang Maple was not surprised at all. He still wore a smile on his face. But just then, Marquis Xianlan suddenly shouted loudly. He fiercely slammed his fist on the spot where Wang Maple was. Then he gritted his teeth and said, "Not worth mentioning. Truly not worth mentioning." Ling Fly Dancing couldn't help but be surprised and said, "If even sect leader can't defeat Marquis Xianlan, then when will my Ling family's deep-seated enmity be avenged?" Li Black chuckled. "The sect leader hasn't been defeated by Marquis Xianlan. Senior sister, have you noticed that something is missing around you?" At the same time, the smoke caused by Marquis Xianlan's punch has begun to dissipate. Looking at Wang Maple, who is unharmed, Marquis Xianlan gritted his teeth and said, "You've taken my Kirin Flame Fist, yet you emerged unscathed." Upon hearing this, Wang Maple immediately smiled and said, "It wasn't me who received the Kirin Flame Fist. It was my disciple Li Qing. Thank you for your help as a master at the Mystic Emperor stage. As my disciple, Li Qing's entire body is already enveloped in green mystic qi. He has awakened and advanced to the Spirit Awakening stage with the bloodline of the Mystic Spirit Turtle Immortal." Marquis Xianlan is completely angry now. He slammed his fists again and roared, "Since you enjoy my training so much, I will exert myself further. Let me refine you even more." But Wang Maple suddenly spoke up. "Haven't you noticed? You just turned sword chi into an icy mist. Has it all been fully absorbed into the body?" As soon as these words were spoken, Marquis Xianlan suddenly froze, his face changing abruptly. Just at this moment, Wang Maple made his move. He raised his hand and unleashed a strike with the Reaper's 15th blades. The sword chi containing a destructive aura instantly shattered Marquis Xianlan's defense. As the Kirin Dharma body dissipated, Marquis Xianlan gritted his teeth and said, "Kill me! You won't survive either. The Emperor will avenge me." Wang Maple shook his head. "I never said I was going to kill you," said the speaker. "He's all yours to deal with." When this was said, Ling Fly Dancing immediately dropped from the roof and walked slowly towards Wang Maple. Marquis Xianlan's eyes narrowed as he saw this. "So you are Ling Fly Dancing, you're not dead yet." And Ling Fly Dancing grabbed a sharp spike directly, gritting his teeth. "If I die, how can I avenge Lin Cloudy for the Ling family?" Upon hearing this, Marquis Xianlan immediately began to tremble all over. "So it was you, the survivor of the Ling family, who killed the son of this Marquis." Then he suddenly burst into laughter looking up at the sky. "Ha ha ha. Excellent." Wang Maple couldn't help but secretly complain to himself when he saw this. Is he crazy? He knows that Ling Fly Dancing killed his own son, yet he's laughing so happily. At this moment, Marquis Xianlan suddenly roared, "No matter how miserably my father and I die, your future will only be tens of thousands of times more miserable." Killing Marquis Immortal Being Sect may still have a glimmer of hope, but daring to take over the entire Ling Fly Dancing sect will undoubtedly lead to death. The man never expected it. He actually incurred the hatred of Solar Radiant's Grand Emperor. Just now, after Marquis Xianlan was defeated by Wang Maple, he laughed heartily and said that as long as the Immortal Being Sect dares to accept Ling Fly Dancing, the entire sect will undoubtedly perish. Upon hearing this, Wang Maple couldn't help but secretly ponder. Indeed, as I expected, the hidden truth behind the Ling family's annihilation. Just by looking at Marquis Xianlan's demeanor, he wants to make him reveal the secret of the Ling family's annihilation. It's probably impossible. Right. The mystic demon overlord was a formidable figure that shook the Solar Radiance Empire 1,000 years ago. Moreover, he even battled against the Solar Radiance Grand Emperor. Perhaps he might know some hidden truths. It might be a good idea to seek information from him afterwards. At this point, Ling Fly Dancing is starting to feel a bit anxious. Can I really kill him for revenge? Wang Maple then firmly held her hand and comforted her. What did I tell you before? I fear no one in the Immortal Being Sect. If there is a blood feud, even if it is a powerful person, I will kill them without hesitation. Ling Fly Dancing immediately gnashes her teeth as she penetrates Marquis Xianlan, her father. If you are aware in the spring below, you can rest. And the nearby mystic demon overlord suddenly speaks. Marquis Xianlan dies. The Solar Radiance Grand Emperor will definitely not take it lying down. But Wang Maple disagrees. I'm afraid he won't take it lying down. Otherwise, how could the Immortal Being Sect rise to fame so quickly? Just then, Mu Floating Cloud suddenly knelt down and took out a money pouch. Disciple Mu Floating Cloud earnestly requests to join the Immortal Being Sect. How could such a top genius as Wang Maple let this opportunity slip by? He immediately took the money pouch. The system immediately sounded a notification tone. Congratulations, the host has recruited the Supreme Monster Genius and obtained 50,000 sect points. Wang Maple couldn't help but shudder at the sound. Goodness me. The sect points brought by Mu Floating Cloud are even more than the reincarnated Li Black from Mythic Emperor. Later, Wang Maple returned to the sect headquarters and summoned the mystic demon overlord. He immediately spoke up and inquired, Before you were sealed in the divine fallen ancient land, what were you doing? Have you ever heard of the Ling family where Ling Fly Dancing is located? Mystic demon overlord's expression changed at the mention. Sect leader, the Ling family you are referring to, could it be the Ling family in Radiant Wind City, which may not be considered a top-tier major family within the Solar Radiance Empire? But it is still an ancient family, with a history of at least nearly 5,000 years. According to legend, the Ling family has been unable to truly thrive because the legendary artifact they have passed down can only be activated by descendants of the Ling family with pure bloodlines. Once the legendary artifact is activated, the entire Ling family will undergo a complete transformation and easily become one of the top families in the world. Upon hearing this, Wang Maple immediately felt secretly pleased. What luck! Every disciple he casually accepts turns out to be a person with great potential. And the mystic demon overlord spoke again. However, this is just a legend. Disciples are thinking that the unexplained destruction of the Ling family may have a significant connection with this legend. Wang Maple immediately showed a firm expression. Since Ling Fly Dancing has joined our Immortal Being Sect, I naturally have to stand up for her. Marquis Xianlan and the others are just the beginning. Anyone involved in the destruction of the Ling family will not escape. Mystic Demon Overlord immediately started flattering. He was very lucky to be able to hitch a ride on the Immortal Being Sect. And Wang Maple signaled to Mystic Demon Overlord not to spread the word about this matter. Let Ling Fly Dancing focus on cultivating first. After Mystic Demon Overlord left the hall, Wang Maple summoned the system to check the previous messages. A prompt sound immediately rang out. Congratulations on the host for killing Marquis Xianlan and even Xianlan Legion, marking the host's first time killing a Mystic Emperor stage powerhouse and a legion. As a reward, the host is granted one chance for a random summoning and 30,000 sect points. At the same time, due to the host killing Marquis Xianlan, Solar Radiance Grand Emperor holds a grudge against the host. The hostile mission is activated. The first task that the man received is actually to seize the first place in the Demon Sealing Assembly. Just now, Wang Maple activated a hostile mission by killing Marquis Xianlan. Wang Maple immediately asked in his heart, "What is this hostile mission for?" Then a system prompt sounded. The hostile mission is now activated. Solar Radiance Empire will be automatically identified as a hostile force. As long as the host or a disciple of the Immortal Being Sect completes the hostile mission, they can receive mission rewards. I am now issuing the first hostile mission to the host. lead the disciples of the sect to participate in the demon sealing assembly hosted by the Solar Radiance Empire. The disciple from the sect is currently holding the top position on the demon sealing list. After winning the first place in the demon sealing assembly, he provoked the Solar Radiance Grand Emperor. Task rewards include 5 random summoning chances and opening the sect's task hall. Additional tasks. In the demon sealing assembly, try to either recruit or kill outstanding disciples from other sects to seize their luck. Each time a talented disciple is recruited or killed to seize their luck, a certain amount of sect points will be rewarded, depending on their talent. Wang Maple couldn't help but roll his eyes in frustration. This system, it really likes to stir up trouble. Provoking someone like Solar Radiance Grand Emperor is something that an ordinary person would probably think twice about, for fear of their life. However, seducing someone's partner is something that our host enjoys. Then Wang Maple was a bit puzzled and asked, "System, how can I seize his luck?" The reply was simple. Wang Maple couldn't help but ponder with his chin between his fingers. With only a dozen days left until the demon sealing assembly, it would be quite challenging for him, as an Immortal Being Sect disciple at his current cultivation level, to seize the top spot. However, it just so happened that he had gathered everyone this time to enhance the cultivation levels of these disciples. At the thought of this, Wang Maple summoned all the elders and disciples of the sect into the main hall. Then he announced that 10 days later, he would lead the disciples of the sect to participate in the demon sealing assembly to enhance their strength. "You 3 elders." From Li Qing Li Black. Choose one as your own disciple. Move Floating Cloud and Fatty immediately got excited when they heard this. After all, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Simon Snowfall made his selection quickly. He directly picked Move Floating Cloud. Seeing a promising candidate being chosen, Lunar Mirage could only pat the chubby guy's head indifferently and say, "I choose him." The chubby guy immediately exploded upon hearing what Mystic Demon Overlord said. Lunar Mirage, the elder, known for being ruthless and sparing no words, said, "I barely dodged a punch from Marquis Xianlan earlier, almost risking my life. Would it not be a matter of life and death thereafter?" Wang Maple seemed very satisfied as he spoke. Now there are only 2 left. Elder Yin, would you be willing to take Li Black as your apprentice? Yin 13 did not speak. He just shook his head lightly to indicate refusal. Upon seeing the situation, Li Black immediately felt cold inside. I, a powerful expert at the Mystic Emperor stage, do not need the guidance of another expert at the Mystic Emperor stage. Upon seeing the 2 of them not getting along, Wang Maple couldn't help but think to himself, "It's not easy to manage a large team. Not to mention, these elders are all proud individuals. This Li Black who has reincarnated to the Mythic Emperor level is also a difficult person. If I can't find someone to be his mentor this time, I'm afraid he will look down on me." Upon thinking about this, Wang Maple directly used random summons and then spoke up. "In that case, let me awaken another elder again." Set off, set off. Wang Maple's Immortal Being Sect is finally going to make their appearance. Just now, Wang Maple used the opportunity to randomly summon a powerful being again. Then, a ringing sound came from the void. Move Floating Cloud's face changed involuntarily. What sound? Could it be an attack on the sect? The next second, a glamorous woman with red hair appeared right behind Move Floating Cloud. Then Move Floating Cloud fell into a trance state. And the charming woman let out a satisfied laugh. She began to stroll around. Looking at the woman with her brows gracefully arched into her temples, her eyes as dark as lacquer, exuding great spirit. With just a glance, she could captivate any man. Coupled with her flawless white jade-like delicate and fair skin, is enough to make any man's heart race. Wang Maple was immediately surprised. It turned out that she was the one summoned. The Shadow Queen Zhu Jade Fox's cultivation level is the middle Mystic Emperor stage. Her mystic art is the Heavenly Demon Great Technique, and her mythic weapon is the Shadow Queen's sword. Even the Mystic Emperor Li Black, who has undergone reincarnation, couldn't help but furrow his brows at this sound. This voice can move people with its sound and bewitch their minds. Wang Maple nodded in satisfaction. The Heavenly Demon Great Technique and Heavenly Demon Melody. No wonder all the disciples appear mesmerized. Although not as terrifying as Yin 13, it is still very powerful. Just then, a charming and gentle voice came from the Shadow Queen. Zhu J. Fox has met sect leader. A group of disciples hurriedly bowed and paid their respects. They have met Elder Zhu. Upon hearing the sound, Zhu J. Fox immediately nodded with a charming smile. She revealed a smile that could outshine 100 flowers. Several disciples were immediately shaken, especially some male disciples. At that moment, a cold snort suddenly came from Lunar Mirage's mouth. The chilling air immediately brought Li Qing and the others back from their dazed state. And Wang Maple also spoke up at this moment. You should follow Elder Zhu in this round. 10 days later, I will take you to the Demon Sealing Assembly. During these 10 days, follow your respective instructors and cultivate well. Afterwards, everyone left the main hall and began closed-door practice and meditation. And Wang Maple, after summoning the system panel, immediately decided to spend 10,000 sect points for a lucky draw. Suddenly, a cold voice kept ringing in his mind. Most of them were about drawing the cultivation level of various elders and the two major skills of the Shadow Queen. Wang Maple is very satisfied. He immediately signaled the system to cast the Heavenly Demon Great Technique on himself. After receiving the infusion of the Heavenly Demon Great Technique, Wang Maple inquired with the system whether the extracted cultivation levels were sufficient to elevate the host's cultivation level to the Mystic Lord stage. The system immediately responded. Strong cultivators at the Mystic Lord stage have already begun to touch upon the laws of the intention. Unless the host summons a strong cultivator at the Mystic Lord stage, extracting the cultivation level of the Mystic Lord stage is the only way to elevate one's own cultivation level to the Mystic Lord stage. Wang Maple nodded involuntarily upon hearing this. He was not surprised. Indeed, if it's so easy to advance to the Mystic Lord stage, then within the three great empires, there wouldn't only be strong cultivators at the Mystic Emperor pinnacle level on the surface,